Alright, guys, this is where this game gets HERDCERRR. So, you can see spikes at the top. What do spikes usually mean?
But something's gonna fall down.
Or instant death, as you see right there.
If you jump too high.
You die in midair.
Yep, because you touched the spikes. Although you're not too far off. A spike ceiling usually does not mean good things in a game. But thankfully, Drak learned his lesson. Except now, it's going to start moving. But if you can kill that anchor before then it moves back up.
Really? This is really clever, again, for such an early Game Boy game. There's a lot of really good design here.
Oh, trust me, this gets worse.
It's hard, no doubt.
I'm not saying. It is inventive design, especially given the limitations of the Game Boy. But this level takes a lot of liberties when it comes to that. So you have to worry about the spike ceilings coming down. Okay, we're gonna go back, because obviously, candles. It's Castlevania, guys. We don't leave the candles behind. We whip them.
So, do the hearts just act as life in this one?
Yes, they do. Since there is no sub-weapon, they are not part of that. As you can see in future Castlevania games, that didn't last. Yay! Final whip! I can now shoot fireballs. And I have no problem admitting this. This is an emulator, and yes, at this point I start using save states, because this is where it gets hard. So here we go. We first had to deal with them on the ceiling, now they're on the floor.
Climb.
And it's a scaling puzzle, so
yeah,
we have to keep ahead. Yeah, scrolling puzzle. We have to keep ahead, plus kill enemies in the way.
I really do hate auto-scrolling levels.
Yup. What makes this even worse is that, again, if you get hit, you lose your whip.
Yeah.
And from here on in, you want that final whip. You're begging for that final whip. Otherwise, things don't die as fast as you might want. So, that's why I use a lot of save states, and I have no problem admitting this. People can call me cheater, I don't care. I'm not as HERDCERRR as some people. It's one of those things where I actually looked at World of Long Plays on YouTube, and it just blew my mind. The guy had no problems. He had to have played this thing through like 3 to 4 times.
Well, it's kind of interesting how you see some Let's Players who play through some of these games flawlessly, and I'm like, how on earth do they do that? Because it seems like if I played that same game, I couldn't do it.
And that's saying something coming from the completionist here. So, we are almost done with this segment, but obviously, as you can see, it is hard as crap. Because you have to stay ahead of the spikes. I would actually dare argue this is the hardest level of the game.
Looks like it, yeah. You got enemies coming down, you got spikes coming up.
Oh, and it gets better.
Platforms.
So confusing.
Up is down, down is up. Everything's gone all topsy-turvy. Okay, so we're actually nearing the end of this portion of the level. And I wish I could say it got easier from here, but no, it gets a little bit harder.
Well, you seem to be doing really good.
Mm-hmm. And I also like the music here, even though it's really repetitive.
Yeah, game 8-bit music, but...
Oh, you thought you were done? No, no, you're not. From the right. And what makes it even worse is that they actually have portions of this where you have to walk towards the spikes.
Of course.
What's a game without walking towards the danger?
I want to say a good game, but you know what? Most good games have that mechanic. Oh, I hate it every time I have to walk right next to the spikes. Because again, instant death, guys. And also loss of my final whip. Oh, Even now, I'm clenching. Like, if I had a biting my nail habit, I would probably be doing that right now. Really hardcore. And this is one of those points where, what's more worth it? The candle or your life? I
Your
pick my
life,
life.
of course. I thought you'd say the candle. The candle!
In most Castlevania games, that would be the case. Not when there's spikes coming at you.
And it's hard when you gotta climb up high enough on the rope in order to make the jump.
Exactly. Another interesting factoid, ropes really weren't used past the Game Boy games. They really weren't. And they were an interesting mechanic. I really wish they would have brought them back. In fact, in some cases you could actually make the argument that Super Nintendo and later PlayStation 3 kind of utilized them, but more along the lines of the whip.
Right.
Oh, and this is the one I hate the most, because we're right there. That's the end of this segment. I have to walk towards the spikes. Oh. This sucks. So bad. But we made it to the rope now, we just have to climb it.
Climb!
And there we go. That's the hardest part of this level now. Done.
Did you do that flawlessly, or did you die a few times?
Oh, I died quite a few times. That's what I'm saying. I have no problem admitting I use save states. So the people who want to give me crap in the comments below, you are free to do so, but I may not even listen to you, because I made it through. People might actually ask, have I done it flawlessly before? Yes, believe it or not, when I dry run this game, I flawlessly ran it.
Flawless.
I don't know what happened that day. I ate my Wheaties, I don't know, but I did it.
You could say Let's Play curse, but... Well, yeah, Let's Play curse.
Yeah.
Because you're recording.
Let me put it this way to you, Alex. It took me an hour to record this. It took me 25 minutes to beat it in dry run.
Wow.
I really thought this was going to be a one-part deal, so at that point, yes, I'm blaming Let's Play curse. So now we are on the final level. This is actually Castlevania. This is Dracula's Castle.
Castlevania.
And this is where it
I
gets...
can't believe how short this game is.
It's a Game Boy game.
It's a Game Boy game, so its length... This was, again, Konami messing around with the Game Boy and trying to figure out, how much gameplay can we actually put into it. I will also admit that Belmont's Revenge is longer. So yeah, I have no problem saying this, but Belmont's Revenge, which is technically a latter Game Boy game, and later a Game Boy Color game, is lots longer. So where this had 4 levels, I think Belmont's Revenge had 8? 7 or 8, one of the two. But since it also came later in the Game Boy's life, they knew their limits. They knew what they could do to push it.
And more time for the hardware of the Game Boy to develop.
Yep. Now, I might have confused people here. Wait, Belmont's Revenge is available on GBC. Yes, it is. Only under a Konami collection, though. So, thankfully, though, I was able to find a ROM of the color version. So we will probably be playing that when we get to Belmont's Revenge. So don't get mad at me. I just like the color version better. And this was back when Konami was trying to figure out if they wanted to do collections. So they did, like, 4 game bunches in Game Boy titles. So you could get Gradius 2, Belmont's Revenge, and a couple other games. Which makes me even sadder because, well, Konami's not doing so well. So we probably won't get a Konami collection.
Doesn't sound like it.
No. What I would really like to see Nintendo do is make a priority to Konami and get all the Castlevania games, or at least as many of them as they can, on the Virtual Console. They've done some of it. They've gotten some of the GBA titles there, thankfully, and they have said that their focus is moving towards N64 and DS, which I would love, because, believe it or not, I haven't played any of the DS Castlevania titles. And I would love to be able to play it with you guys. Fresh. Yes, I'm proposing a Castlevania game that's blind. Woo! Ah! I hate that jump.
Nice save, though.
Oh, and it gets worse now.
Oh,
Spike rooms.
it's like I want to be the guy before I want to be the guy.
Something tells me, like, if you had played this through the first time, Alex, you see these rooms and you just be like, oh, come on!
Pretty much.
Oh, come on, it's right here.
It gets worse from here.
Well, first it'd be, oh, come on!
Yep.
Oh, come on!
No, and every time you walked up the rope and you saw yet another spike room, you just be like, fuck.
Are you fucking kidding me?
3? Thankfully, this is at least an understandable puzzle. Just gotta make your platforming work. If people don't know that Drak is a master of platforming, there you go. Oh my gosh, a room that doesn't have spikes! Except it has this guy.
Spikes!
This guy's a douche.
Oh, that guy would remind me of an enemy in Donkey Kong Country 2.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's actually based off of a Castlevania model, the Axe Knight, which came... Because at this point, you know, the Game Boy was pretty close to the Super Nintendo, so they already had kind of that idea. And if people remember the dreaded corridor to death in the first game, yeah, those Axe Knights inspired that Scythe guy. And this guy's even worse, because if you don't time that right, you lose your whip! I know there's just some Konami developer out there somewhere who just every time he sees somebody fail in this game, he laughs.
Right now, a programmer is laughing his ass off.
Yeah? Now, I don't think I need to explain this to you, Alex, but if you touch the tip, it's a spike. So you die. But if you touch the platform, you're fine. So I get to have that fun moment of timing my jumps on a really slow game and making sure I don't die. Yeah, the game likes to hand you final whip upgrades when you have the final whip. Try to explain that.
I guess in case you lose it, so you can get it back.
Nope.
Oh, look out.
Time jumps on platforms.
That alone took quite a few tries. Because, again, I'd get hit, and then I'd lose my whip. And I can't lose my whip here! Thankfully, though, we are getting really close to the end of the level, so...
Whee!
Drak can stop clenching after that. Oh, every time I see it's not a screen leading to Dracula, I just cringe.
Chandelier doesn't fall on you?
Nope. Mainly because Konami hadn't realized that would be a thing yet. Because, yeah, they don't fall, I don't think, in any of the Castlevania NES games. It's up until the SNES when they started falling. Spoiler alert. Okay, this is actually the screen right before Dracula. And if you played it right, as you can hear, I just got a 1-up.
Yay!
But now you're gonna see me do Dracula after 10 attempts of not flawless victories. So the first phase of Dracula, like usual, is fairly easy. As you can see, I'm just nuking him down. All you have to do is make sure you're placed in the exact right place. By the way, for the record, this was actually one of the few Game Boy games that actually had pentagrams in it, and therefore, according to PTA mothers, was evil. Not kidding.
I'm sure it's clearly evil. But I see no reason not to trust it.
Exactly. So this is kind of the hard part of this whole thing, where you can only hit him in one angle. So you have to take your chance every time you get the opportunity.
Yay!
And Dracula's dead. and now every kid's having a seizure.
Nah, it's gotta be flashing for that.
Oh, give it a second. Oh, this isn't the one that flashes. Never mind. It's the other one. And oh, look, a nice little ending screen. And thus ends the legacy of Christopher Belmont, vampire hunter and member of the Belmont clan.
Vampire Hunter D.
So, yes, it was amazingly short, but final thoughts, Alex, on Castlevania The Adventure.
I'm impressed. It's a pretty, well put together, ambitious title for early Game Boy. You say this is a launch title. That means this is like right at the start of the Game Boy
Yes.
life. So,
in fact, the Game Boy is actually one of those few games where my family actually got all the launch titles. Because it was Mario, it was Tetris, and then it was Castlevania The Adventure. And this was the game that pissed us off. Andrea, what are your thoughts on this very simplistic Game Boy game?
Pretty much the same thing that Alex would have said. I mean,
It's good, it's just that it's short.
yeah, understandably
I just,
short.
Haven't played too many Game Boy games, so I wouldn't have known how short those games can be.
Yeah. And again, it's that point where Konami, Capcom, and all them were experimenting with Game Boy to see what they could do. And therefore, this is still a very solid entry into the Castlevania series, which now feels like when we go into the Castlevania games is more a look back on a good era of games. Because unfortunately, we're not getting another Castlevania game. Not for a while. And probably not from Konami. And so thankfully, we hope you guys have enjoyed this journey of Castlevania The Adventure. But are we done? We are not. Stay tuned next time as we take on Castlevania 2, Belmont's Revenge for Game Boy Color.
Belmont's Revenge.
We'll see you next time, guys.